Announcements today from mortgage giants Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae that could help close the racial gap, in home ownership.
All right, that's all part of an effort from the federal agency that regulates the housing industry to correct nearly a century of systemic racism. Chris Welch here now with a breakdown of the key changes. Chris.
Yeah, Stephen, Laura, the biggest change here, allowing potential buyers to factor in their rent payment history when it comes to their credit rating. Now, changes also include down payment assistance and lower mortgage insurance premiums. They came about after the federal independent agency that regulates Fannie and Freddie. It was an effort to try to alleviate discrimination in the home ownership process. Now, for context here, about 72% of white Americans are homeowners. Only 43% of black Americans are. Now, one expert I spoke to today says the problem all dates back to something called redlining. That was a discriminatory practice dating back to the 1930s in which financial services were withheld from potential customers who lived in certain neighborhoods that were deemed hazardous to investment. Now, one result of that is still lingering, black Americans have the lowest credit scores. So today's step, experts say, is a very big one in the right direction.
It's acknowledging that past discrimination existed and it has an impact on today's housing markets, who can access it and who cannot. So this is a big announcement and is part of a larger plan to dismantle this architecture of inequality, if you will, that prohibits many black Americans and people of color in general and low wealth people from participating in the American dream.
That's Andre Perry. He's a senior fellow at the Brookings Institute who studies structural inequality. He says the fact that past rent history can now be used to help someone's credit will open up a whole new group of potential homeowners. He says the move will help even up the playing field for those who'd never really been given a fair shake before. Now, the interim CEO at Fannie Mae calls today's announcement a, quote, solid step in knocking down the barriers and undoing the legacy of discriminatory practices. Steve Beck.